Welcome to Sleepy Sycamore. Picture a caterpillar, striped in bold bands of yellow, black, and white, munching contentedly on a leaf in a New Zealand garden. This little creature is embarking on one of nature's most remarkable journeys, and it doesn't even know yet that it will soon transform into one of the world's most recognizable butterflies. These aren't just any caterpillars. They're the larval stage of the monarch butterfly, and while monarchs are famous around the world, the New Zealand population has a story all its own. These beautiful insects weren't always here, you see. They arrived as wanderers from across the Tasman Sea, and now they've made these islands their home. So settle in, get comfortable, and let's spend some time with these gentle creatures. Starting from their very beginning, as hungry little caterpillars, we'll watch them grow, transform, and eventually take to the skies on wings of orange and black. Welcome back to Sleepy Sycamore, where we explore the peaceful wonders of the natural world. Now let's begin at the very beginning, with an egg no bigger than a pinhead. The mother monarch, with her distinctive orange and black wings, lands delicately on the underside of a milkweed leaf. This isn't random, you see. She's incredibly selective. The leaf must be from a swan plant, what we call tropical milkweed here in New Zealand, or one of its close relatives. She curves her abdomen and carefully deposits a single cream-colored egg. Just one. Then she moves on to another leaf and another, spreading her precious eggs across different plants. It's nature's way of hedging her bets, isn't that something? The egg itself is a tiny work of art. If you could examine it under magnification, you'd see it's covered in delicate ridges, like a miniature ribbed dome. For about 3 to 5 days, depending on the warmth of the weather, this little egg sits there, and inside, something wonderful is happening. The caterpillar is developing, growing, preparing for the moment it will emerge into the world. And emerge it does. The tiny larva, barely 2 millimeters long and pale as morning light, chews its way out of the egg casing. Here's the interesting part. Its very first meal is that egg casing itself. Nothing goes to waste in nature. This nutritious first breakfast gives the newborn caterpillar energy for what comes next, which is eating. A lot of eating. You see, this little creature has one job in its caterpillar stage, and that job is to grow. In these early days, the caterpillar is pale, almost translucent, with a black head. It stays on the underside of leaves mostly, safe from the harsh sun and from the eyes of predators. And let me tell you about predators, because even at this tender stage, danger is everywhere. Wasps patrol the milkweed plants, hunting for soft caterpillar bodies. Spiders stretch their webs nearby. Birds search the foliage. It's a perilous world for a creature so small and vulnerable. But the monarch caterpillar has a secret weapon, and it comes from those very leaves it's eating. Milkweed plants, you see, are toxic. They contain chemicals called cardenolides, which are poisonous to most creatures. But the monarch caterpillar can eat them without harm. In fact, it stores these toxins in its own body, becoming toxic itself. It's remarkable, really. The caterpillar turns the plant's defense into its own shield. As the days pass, our little caterpillar eats and eats and eats. And as it eats, it grows. But here's where things get interesting. A caterpillar's skin doesn't grow with it the way ours does. Instead, the caterpillar must shed its skin, molting to reveal a larger size underneath. This happens 5 times during the caterpillar's life, and each stage between molts is called an instar. After each molt, the caterpillar becomes larger and its pattern develops. Those bold stripes of white, yellow, and black begin to appear, along with 2 pairs of black tentacles, little filaments near the head and rear. By the 3rd molt, those warning colors are vivid and clear, sending a message to anything that might consider eating it. "I'm toxic," the pattern says. "Leave me alone." This is called aposematic coloration, nature's way of using bright colors as a warning label. The final instar caterpillar grows to about 5 centimeters long, chunky and beautifully striped. It's a hungry beast now, and a single caterpillar can consume an entire milkweed leaf in a day. This stage lasts about 9 to 14 days, depending on temperature. The caterpillar moves with a distinctive rhythm, gripping with its true legs at the front, then using its soft, fleshy prolegs to push forward in a gentle wave motion. It's graceful in its own way. There's something almost meditative about watching one eat. this steady, purposeful consumption of leaf after leaf. In New Zealand specifically, these caterpillars have adapted to conditions that are different from their ancestral homes in North America. The climate here is milder in many regions, and the caterpillars here might experience cooler temperatures than their cousins in warmer climates, which means their development might take a bit longer. But they're patient. Nature is always patient. One of the wonderful things about monarch caterpillars in New Zealand is how accessible they are to observation. Because they rely on swan plants, and because many gardeners deliberately plant these to attract monarchs, you can often find caterpillars in suburban gardens, city parks, and school grounds. Children grow up watching these transformations, and isn't that something special? As the final instar caterpillar approaches the end of its time in this form, something changes. It stops eating. After weeks of non-stop consumption, it suddenly loses interest in food. Instead, it becomes restless, wandering away from the plant that has been its home and its sustenance. It's searching now, looking for the perfect spot for what comes next. The caterpillar is looking for a safe, sheltered location where it can transform. It might be the underside of a branch, the eave of a building, a fence post, anywhere that offers some protection from weather and predators. And when it finds that spot, it begins to prepare. Using silk from glands in its head, it spins a small silk pad, attaching it firmly to the surface. Then comes a remarkable bit of acrobatics. The caterpillar turns around, grabs the silk pad with its final pair of prolegs, and lets go with everything else, hanging upside down in a J shape. And there it hangs, motionless, for about a day. Inside that striped body, massive changes are occurring. Cells are reorganizing, structures are breaking down and reforming. The caterpillar is becoming something new. Then the transformation happens. The caterpillar's skin splits one final time, not to reveal another caterpillar, but to reveal something completely different, a chrysalis. The skin works its way up the body and falls away, and what emerges is smooth and jade-green, beautiful as a jewel. The chrysalis wriggles and adjusts itself, making sure it's secure on that silk pad. And then it hardens, becoming a protective casing. The chrysalis stage lasts about 10 to 14 days, though again, temperature affects the timing. Inside that jade-green casing, which gradually becomes more transparent as the butterfly develops, you can eventually start to see orange and black through the chrysalis wall. The butterfly is forming, its wings compressed and folded, its long proboscis coiled, its compound eyes developing. And then one morning, the chrysalis becomes completely transparent, and you can see the butterfly inside, perfect and ready. The chrysalis splits, and the butterfly emerges, damp and crumpled. It clings to the empty chrysalis casing, pumping fluid into its wings, slowly, patiently expanding them to their full size. The wings are soft at first, delicate as tissue paper, but they dry and harden in the air, and the scales that cover them, millions of tiny scales arranged in precise patterns, create those iconic orange and black colors, rimmed with white spots. Within a few hours, the butterfly is ready. It tests its wings, fluttering them experimentally, and then it flies, lifting off from where it emerged, taking to the air for the first time. That caterpillar that spent weeks eating leaves is now a creature of the air, able to fly hundreds of kilometers, able to sip nectar from flowers, able to find a mate and continue the cycle. In New Zealand, these butterflies have become beloved. They're symbols of transformation and beauty. They visit gardens in cities and countryside alike. In the warmer months, you might see dozens of them nectaring on flowers, their orange wings brilliant in the sunlight. They're gentle creatures, easily approached, and they seem almost to enjoy basking in warm spots, wings spread to catch the sun. The New Zealand monarchs have some interesting behaviors that differ slightly from their North American relatives. While North American monarchs are famous for their multi-generational migration of thousands of kilometers from Canada to Mexico, New Zealand monarchs don't have such a journey programmed into them. Instead, they're somewhat migratory within New Zealand, moving to warmer areas in winter, but not in the same coordinated, massive way. Some monarchs overwinter as adults, finding sheltered spots where they become dormant, clustering together in trees and groups that can number in the hundreds. These overwintering sites are quite special to discover if you know where to look. What's remarkable is that the monarch butterflies that overwinter are different from the summer generations. Summer monarchs might live only a few weeks as adults, but the monarchs that emerge in autumn, sensing the changing day length and temperature, enter a state called reproductive diapause. Their reproductive systems don't mature, and instead of mating and laying eggs, they conserve their energy. These special monarchs can live for several months, surviving the winter and then reproducing when spring arrives. The monarchs in New Zealand are also important pollinators. As they move from flower to flower, sipping nectar with their long proboscis, they carry pollen on their bodies, helping plants reproduce. They're particularly fond of flowers like the swan plant's blooms, various species of hebe, and introduced garden flowers. They're part of the web of life here now, connected to plants, predators, and the seasonal rhythms of these islands. There's something profoundly peaceful about watching a monarch butterfly drift by on a warm afternoon. The way they fly is distinctive, with a sort of floating, gliding quality interspersed with bursts of flapping. They seem unhurried, even though they're capable of sustained flight. They'll pause to investigate flowers, land to rest in sunny spots, and sometimes just sit with their wings spread, soaking in the warmth. For those who raise monarchs in New Zealand, and many people do, bringing caterpillars indoors to protect them from predators and increase their survival rate, there's a special joy in releasing the butterflies once they emerge. To hold a butterfly gently on your finger, to feel the tiny grip of its feet, to watch it spread its wings and then lift off, flying up and away into the sky, there's something magical about that moment. You've helped this creature complete its transformation, and now it's joining the wild population, carrying forward the ancient patterns of its species. The relationship between New Zealanders and monarch butterflies has become quite special. Schools often have swan plants specifically for teaching children about metamorphosis. Conservation groups track monarch populations and overwintering sites. Gardeners plant monarch-friendly flowers and protect swan plants. There's a collective affection for these beautiful insects, a sense of wonder at their transformation and appreciation for the brightness they bring to the garden. And yet, monarchs in New Zealand face challenges. Wasps, particularly the introduced species, prey heavily on caterpillars. Habitat loss affects them, as it does so many species. Climate change brings unpredictable weather that can affect their life cycles. But the monarchs persist, resilient and adaptable, continuing their cycles of transformation season after season. There's also the fascinating question of where these monarchs came from originally. The best evidence suggests they arrived naturally from Australia, probably in the mid-1800s, blown across the Tasman Sea by strong winds. They found swan plants, which had been introduced from South America and Africa and had naturalized in some areas, and they found a climate that suited them. And they stayed, they multiplied. They spread throughout the North Island and into the warmer parts of the South Island. It's a reminder that nature is always in motion, always adapting, always finding new places to thrive. The monarch's presence in New Zealand also raises interesting ecological questions. They're not native, but they've been here for over a century and a half. They don't seem to significantly harm native species or ecosystems. They're not invasive in a destructive sense. They're simply here, part of the landscape now, naturalized. And they bring joy. They inspire curiosity. They teach lessons about transformation and persistence. Perhaps that's valuable in its own right. When you look at a monarch butterfly, you're looking at a creature that exists because of an extraordinary journey, both the journey that brought them to New Zealand in the first place and the journey each individual takes from egg to butterfly. Every monarch you see has gone through that complete transformation, has been that tiny egg, that hungry caterpillar, that mysterious chrysalis. Everyone has survived against considerable odds. And here's something wonderful to consider. That butterfly floating past you, with its stained glass wings and delicate antennae, carries within it the same genetic information that guided monarchs across North America for millions of years. It's connected to an ancient lineage, even as it lives out its life in these southern hemisphere islands. It's both new and old, both immigrant and native, both individual and part of something much larger. As we come to the end of our time together today, let's reflect on what we've discovered. We started with an egg on a leaf and followed the journey through caterpillar growth and molting, through the accumulation of toxins and the development of warning colors. We watched the caterpillar wander away to find its transformation spot, hang in a J shape, and form a chrysalis, and we witnessed the emergence of the butterfly, that moment when something that crawled becomes something that flies. The monarch butterfly in New Zealand is a testament to nature's creativity and resilience. These creatures have made a home in a place far from their origins, and they've brought wonder with them. In gardens and parks, along roadsides and in wild places, they continue their ancient cycles, eating, growing, transforming, flying, mating, and beginning the cycle again. There's a gentleness to this story, isn't there? No drama, no violence, just steady growth and remarkable change. The caterpillar doesn't struggle against its nature. It simply eats when it's time to eat, molts when it's time to molt, and transforms when it's time to transform. There's a wisdom in that, a trust in the process. So the next time you're in a garden and you see a swan plant with its distinctive clusters of flowers, take a moment to look closely at the leaves. You might spot those telltale holes where a caterpillar has been eating. You might see the caterpillar itself, striped and beautiful, munching away. Or you might find a jade-green chrysalis, hanging quietly, holding its secrets. And if you're very lucky, you might witness a butterfly emerging, spreading its wings to reveal those stunning patterns of orange and black. Nature never ceases to amaze, does it? Thank you for joining me today on Sleepy Sycamore. I hope you've enjoyed this peaceful journey through the life of the monarch butterfly here in New Zealand. Until then, take care, appreciate the small wonders around you, and sleep well, friends.